The idea that we have a personal spirit, we have a soul, and we have a physical body. And each one of those impacts the other. If our body is not healthy, then our spirit is going to be impacted and our soul is impacted. And I want to give to you some of the reasons that I believe this to be true based on the experiences that I've had as a chaplain and working in inner healing for over 30 years. First is that when I have gone to support people with extreme burns from fire or from acid or things like that, especially facial burns, there seems to be something that affects not just the person's sense of identity, but who they are. And if you've ever had a facial burn or if you've ever had a disfigurement of some type, it really does impact a person's not just the body, but there's something in the mind and in the soul, but also in the spirit. There's just something that changes within. Likewise, when I've worked with people who have been abused in one form or another, it is very difficult to identify with their heart. Their heart is hurting, but there's a part of them that usually has withdrawn and is so angry that they can't even articulate it. That might be evidence of a person's spirit holding something that their mind and their body doesn't know they are. What about babies? Some babies and infants have what's called failure to thrive, and failure to thrive doesn't make sense unless there's some kind of a choice that's being made somehow in the baby's spirit. The spirit is very different than the mind and the soul. I have come to see that there are choices that the spirit can make apart from the mind and from the body. What about people that I've worked with who have tried to unalive themselves, and it turns out that there is a pattern that they go through where they try to unalive themselves on the exact day that their mother may have tried to abort them. How do they know? And especially for those times and those people who don't know, and it's only revealed much later. That, I've seen that, and that is something that cannot be explained unless there's something that's being carried in a person's heart or spirit. Some people are able to have a lot of resilience, and you can have two people that have the exact same level of health, and yet they can't handle certain stresses and things, and there is a spiritual strength that comes from a person's spirit, or lack of. There are times when I have seen people who have great intellectual understanding of sympathy, but they can't truly empathize. Empathize comes from a different place, and I believe that place is the spirit. And last that I'll talk about now is depression. Depression it affects the body for sure. We know that. It also affects the way the mind works and the way that our will is, and that again makes sense. But there is a part of us that just stops working, slows down and stops working. And I believe that depression affects the spirit of a person very similar in the way that it affects the body and the soul and the mind in this case. And addressing the body and helping the body helps the mind and the soul, and it helps the spirit. But what I would like to do is be able to address the issues with the spirit first, and we know that will make a big difference in affecting a person's soul and their body. So I'm coming at it from a reverse point of view. So that's my I don't want to say explanation for, but it gives me some food for thought, and hopefully some food for thought for you on what is the evidence of a person's personal spirit. It's hard to define. A lot of it is by anecdotes or by personal experience. It's just not something that's talked about and understood in our very Western way of thinking in our society. I look forward to sharing more with you, and we'll get into some very deep things here soon.